Hello, greetings, and hope you're all doing great. You're on to Austin again, and I'm here to give us another broadcast. And as my manner has always been, I try as much as possible to bring informations to the TBC community live and direct. And as many people who watch my videos, you are actually getting yourself properly informed, properly educated. There are several ways to get yourself informed or educated in our Kringle society. The first way is, as a new member, is to do well to attend the member helper meetings or new member training. That's the first point of call. Every new member in the TBC community should attend that training and get first-hand information from the consultants that are there. They are consultants because they teach you the rudiments, the first principles of the Kringle Private Society. Now, the second lectures or trainings that you can get is from your upline. Your upline is supposed to teach you the rudiments of TBC, what you should get, what you should know, what you shouldn't know, what you should guard against, what you should be careful about, what to protect yourself for or against, you know. And then the last point of call is our mass adoption meeting. So these are the three major trainings that you are supposed to get. Now, the member helper trainings is when you have issues with the TBC wallet or TBC Kringle Cash. That's when you go about the member helper. But the new member training is a one-time thing, and then after you've gotten it, you can now begin to continue to relate with your upline. Your upline is a continuous thing, and you should also, if you're a serious member in our Kringle society, you should attach yourself to several groups. Now, not unreasonable groups, not quick gratification groups, organized groups where there are competent leaders there. Those leaders will guide you as you move forward. And if you don't have any group where you are associated with, then think again. Okay? Now, these are the few things. So, we move into the content of today. If you're tuning into my broadcast for the very first time, do well to subscribe to my channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, a thumbs up should suffice. Give me a thumbs up if the content I'm giving makes good sense to you and is also building you. And then finally, click on the notification bell so that if I am live anytime, you get the notification. All right. Now, that said, moving into the title, what happens if members of the TBC community at any point get hacked? You know, at this point in our TBC community, there are several things that we are looking forward to. The first thing we are looking forward to now is getting well and properly organized. That's the first thing we are looking out to achieve, getting properly organized. The second thing that we're looking out to achieve is to interact with life force, that is forming assemblies. I want to let you know that we are already forming assemblies. In Nigeria, we are forming assemblies. If you're having an active account, you are a regular member and you are paying your monthly or yearly subscription fee, then you can reach out to me and then I add you up to the group where you need to join us and then form assemblies. But it's not all about having an active account. If you haven't been identifying in various places, such as the mass adoption meeting or the mass adoption trainings, I don't know, it's not everybody that will come in. But then it should be people who are regular, people who wants to build, people who are sure that they can build this TBC community to where it's supposed to be. Not those who are in today and tomorrow they are no more. So please take note of this. We encourage everyone to be party to it, but we want those who are strong hands. That's what we want. Now, moving over to the content of today, I'm going to share my screen shortly. And the reason why I chose this topic today is because there are so many things that are happening in our TBC community. I've told us about the first one, getting organized. The second one is getting in proper organization with life force. And then if we get organized, properly organized, we will subdivide ourselves into various levels, departments, subgroups. And then fundings can come to us where we can use it to launch projects running into tens of millions, or 10,000 or more in dollars. So these are the things that we're working on achieving. And I want you to know it's a good news that before the end of this month, there is every tendency that yes, we would get properly organized and fundings will start coming from life. Most likely ending of this month or beginning of next month. Beware of what's going on, because once it happens, we become the new government, because the present governments are not helping us to achieve our goal of building to freedom. Instead, they are helping to destroy mankind, helping to confiscate everything, and then they are promoting their evil agenda. So a whole lot of the governments are doing, and it's high time the people stood up and said no to the way the governments are doing things. New governments will rise from these assemblies that we are forming, and these governments will come in based on how effective they are in promoting this our TBC community. Remember that Life Force, if you want to come in, it's free using our Kringle Cash back office, which I'll show you shortly. But then there is going to be a system that will be set up by the administration, which will help us organize more. Now, that system, once it is set up, it is based on those active people who are helping to grow the community. At least your Bitcoin bounty should speak. If you're not making enough Bitcoin bounty, well, I don't know. But then it's going to be based on how well you are contributing to the community and also how much Bitcoin bounty you are getting. Very soon, organizations will start taking place from every country. We've had several food subsidy centers, food subsidy committees from Namibia, but that hasn't been rectified yet. At least from Cameroon, it has been rectified. That from Nigeria has been rectified. And which other one has been rectified? There are a number of other organizations. Ivory Coast has been rectified, and all these organizations, countries, are getting properly organized. So the question I ask you is, what part are you taking place in our TBC community? That's a question, and I believe you would answer it. If you are doing nothing, well, you would get nothing. If you are doing something, you will surely get something. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't get weary in building our community, because the beauty of TBC is about to show. We are like gold undergoing refining process. It doesn't take one purification process for gold to come out. It takes several processes before gold becomes what it is. And the most purest form of gold, if you don't know, let me tell you, it's grains of gold. It's when you have grains of gold. Those are the purest forms of gold. You can then gather as many grains of gold, weigh it, and then you can melt it into whatever you want it to be. And that's why we are grains of gold. We are seen as pure gold, pure gold. That's how we build our TBC community. And I think I said something about that in my previous broadcast, So moving into the content of today, I move into our Kringle Cash back office. And after I go there, we look at some things. There are some beautiful things I saw in our Kringle Cash back office. It really made me excited. So we're going to look at it together again. And then after that, we move into our new private blog, look into the content there, and then we share our title, or we talk about our title, which is what happens if members of the TBC community are at any point undergo cyber attacks. So do stay with me as I share my screen. Okay, I think screen now being shared. So I move into our Kringle Cash back office. And like I said yesterday, we are now increasing by about 2,000 every day. This is a good one. And what amazed me today is that I woke up this morning and I discovered that we had gone down like fast over the night. So that means there are some countries out there that are working extra hard to make sure that this admin wallet depletes to 500 million before the end of this month. And we are welcome to see how it all happens. So looking so far, our numbers that has paid yearly subscription out of 10,000 is 49. And I believe by now it has become more than 49. But then, like I said, before the end of this year, it will exceed 10,000. Let's watch and see how everything unfolds. Now, The next thing we're going to talk about, I think the rest of this we already know. If you want to join our assembly, please, whether you are active or inactive, fill out this form. Fill out this form and join the assembly. Then organization will come in from there. And then from there, we go forward. Another thing we should also take note of is there is every tendency that we are going to set up at least one food subsidy center before the end of this year. And it's all up to the administration. He will decide how best we can go about it. We have built a project and we are making sure that we succeed. And for us to succeed, we need proper organization. We need proper fundings, enough fundings to make this a reality. More on this life force will be heard today from the administration. So do stay with us as we build. So I move into our new private blog. After talking about that, then I talk about our last content, and I think that'll be all. Give it a while, please. It's loading. Major events tomorrow in Philippines. Now, this content is for everybody in the TBC community. We can also join them spiritually by praying on behalf of these people. Now, we're going to quickly look at it. The contents are not much. We'll just read it very fast. And then we'll move into our last content, which is what happens if any member in the TBC community gets cyber attacked or the account is hacked. Before we even move into it, we need to understand the organization of the wallet. Of course, you can't hack the Gringo Cash. You can't hack the Gringo Cash because it's very, very organized. If anyone wants to have access to the Gringo Cash, well, let me first of all read this content, then we'll move into that so that you understand better how organized we are and how we have prepared for this thing, because there is every tendency that such kind of things will happen in the event of time. But then the administration has anticipated all these things. In fact, he has already anticipated a 10-year plan of what these elites are probably going to do, because if you are thinking that they are not going to come for us, well, you are mistaken. They must come for us. And if they come for us, and we are not prepared, well, it's all up to us. Now let's read. Major events tomorrow in Philippines. It's very quick. I'll just read it quick and then say what I have to say, and then move to the last content of today. Tomorrow, which is today is August 4th. Tomorrow, August 5th, at 1 p.m. onward. 1 p.m. onward. That's going forward. Alliance for COVID Resilience. Okay, COVID Resilience Philippines, along with a group of Christian pastors and believers, will gather in front of the Supreme Court to pray and uproot the strongholds of Satan that blinds, deceives, and corrupts the gatekeepers of justice of these very important gates of our nation, to pave the way for God's truth, justice, righteousness, fairness to reign in our land. Now, it doesn't just apply to Philippines, it applies to every continent, every country in the world. Because what's happening in Philippines is also happening in the likes of Italy, in the likes of Canada, in the likes of United States, in the likes of UK and all that. So it's actually a call for people to wake up and see what's going on. And trust me, these guys are not stepping down. They're not stepping back until humanity wakes up and rises up. Now, the people that are going to be held accountable and condemned for this are going to be, number one, the government. Number two, the banking system. Now, we need a revolution, and that revolution must happen through the people. And the people have to rise up and say no to the system that the governments are bringing. The governments are only pawns. Governments are puppets, helping to implement the agenda of the elites. And I believe by now we all know. If we don't know, wake up to the truth. The media are also helping to promote that. The media, filled with evil, filled with lies, filled with wickedness. They don't tell you the truth. Instead, they program you to think in the direction they want you to think. It's unfortunate. Now, if we can't do anything, all we can do is to pray. You must pray with a sincere heart, with willing heart to succeed. Now, from the Holy Book, the scriptures said that when you pray, you should pray in faith, believing that whatever you've asked of your God, you have gotten it. And then you also show thanksgiving, saying thank you for receiving, though you haven't seen it. By faith, you have gotten it. That's why the administration says that belief is better than knowledge, because you could see something, it's bad at the moment, but you believe it can get good. And then when you walk towards it with that belief, it becomes a reality. We are recreating the world, though it's so bad. We believe that with God on our side, we can make that possible. All right, let's continue. Now, we will also furnish the clerk of court a copy of the online signature campaign we submitted to the senators against mandatory vaccination, especially among children, and coercive policies of the government that violates people's freedom of movement and choice, more particularly implement of lockdowns, vaccine passports, and depriving people to go inside grocery stores and other establishments if they don't have vaccination certificate of vaccination, submission of the formal petitions for the issuance of TRO and preliminary injunctions to immediately halt mass experimental vaccination until FDA gives final approval to the vaccines being administered to our people, where emergency use authorization were only issued and or a writ of mandamus for government to follow the path towards infection-induced immunity rather than experimental vaccine-induced immunity will follow as soon as possible. Now, we will also invoke our religious convictions. Of course, it doesn't matter what religion you belong to. The point is, it is a violation of our religious rights. Every human being has the right to choose whether to get vaccinated or not. But then when you begin to enforce and force people to do what is contrary to their belief system, I think that's wrong, that's evil. So humanity should unite, irrespective of your race or religious system. Unity is all we need, because we have a common enemy, and that's Lucifer, that's Satan. And the only way to defeat them is for human beings to come to the consciousness of what's going on. That's the only way. When knowledge of a thing has been discovered, the problem has been half solved. There is nothing like COVID-19. It's actually common code. But you see, it will take a whole lot of effort for people to realize that. And that means knowledge is paramount. Now, our religious convictions and beliefs in regard to COVID vaccine. Upon submission of the formal petition, we will hold prayer vigil in front of the Supreme Court until they render favorable decisions to our pleadings. Now, the question I ask, if someone that promotes prayers is actually someone that put this thing here, I think the person's mindset towards humanity is a good one. The only way that we humans interact with our God is prayers. And now it has come to prayer vigil. Prayer vigil means you spend the night waiting on God, believing God, praying and saying the evil plans will not succeed. And if someone has put it down here, then I believe the agenda of this person is a good one. The problem we have is that we are unwilling to pay the price. We are unwilling to make the sacrifice. Well, the truth is the system has been set up in such a way that you can't deceive anybody. You can't even deceive yourself. Every informations are documented. Every informations are archived, so that if you play anything smart, the system will see it, and the system will what? Pay you back in your own in quotes smartness. All right, now let's continue. Render favorable decisions to our pleading. Now, for those from NCR, Metro Manila, especially those in Manila area, come out and join us. It will be a rain or shine event. So bring raincoats and umbrellas just in case the rain falls. Rain and shine. I think it's RAIN. I don't know. Now, placards expressing our religious beliefs and convictions about this pandemic and ongoing global vaccinations are encouraged. Now, if you are bringing a car, mount it on the side or at the back of your car. It's time for the people of God to come out, to be heard, and literally stand in the gap, not just in the spiritual realm, but also in the natural, which is faith without works is dead. But when you combine faith and works, you make it a reality. And trust me, we have succeeded. We are the brink, we are the point where the system is about to somersault in the favor of the people. Hear what I am saying. We are the point where it's about to somersault in favor of the people. But the thing is this: if it somersaults to the favor of the people, do you think the people will be willing to continue to work with the system that the elite has used to enslave us? I'm talking of the financial system. That's just food for thought. Think about it properly. Well, TBC will agree with Life Force. We raise assemblies, we get properly mobilized by fundings, and we change the world. The new governments are coming in, and they are coming in from every country of the world. If you are still sleeping, well, the choice is yours. Please pass it to all your contacts, which is this. Now, those who are outside NCR, Metro Manila, kindly help mobilize your contacts here. Cover us in prayers, those who are going, especially those who are not also going. People like myself and those who will be listening and every other person who cares. Do it, and then let's make this thing happen. Donations for snacks and related expenses are most welcome. God bless the Philippines. God bless Nigeria. God bless the United States. God bless the continents of the world. God bless you. God bless me. God bless all of us. We can actually love and respect each other. We can actually promote each other. Forget about what the elite has done to make you think that your brother is your enemy and all that. It is enough of all their wickedness. Let us change our mind and let us unite. Let's make this thing happen. Please, if you haven't, refer to the most recent information that has been said here by the administration. These things matter. Okay? Now, quickly, let's conclude. We are going to conclude here. We're not going anywhere. We'll conclude here. Now, the thing we talked about is what happens when one of the members of the TBC community experiences a cyber attack. Now, cyber attack simply means in case anybody in the TBC community is hacked. Now, pardon me, is it possible for someone to be hacked in the TBC community? Well, yes, it's possible. But then for them to be hacked, it means that they were careless with their information. Some people log into their accounts and they forget to clean the password. They save it and say the browser says store password. They say yes, store. Those things are very detrimental to your TBC, your wallet. Beware. Do not allow those informations to be there. If you log into your Kringle Cash or your wallet, always go to history and wipe out every information there so that no one will even have access to your information. But then we are moving into the point where we go for global adoption because the food subsidy centers will soon set in. There are some things that the administration will do to protect. He will do his part. You will have to do your part. Now, it wouldn't be so long from now. Our facial verification in our Kringle Cash back office and our wallets will come into full implementation. Now, we have to secure our system and secure it very well. Now, it will be done such that even if you had a twin brother or a twin sister, you will not be able to have access to the person's account, the account of your twin, because facial verification technology is a very, very classified and organized technology to protect the individual that is in custody of that particular account. So we will put in facial verification, facial recognition technology, and we'll upgrade it in such a way that if you are not a member in the TBC community, you won't have access to it. Now, you have to be a member, do your facial verification to have access. And then we're also going to build other things, but we are going to make sure that those things are reasonable, like password. Our password will remain. We'll also build the password in such a way that if you want to have access to it, you would not be able to have access to it. We are going to do everything humanly possible to protect. Okay, it happened that the person that was able to, that wanted to hack was so good. He was able to hack it somehow. Now, even if you hacked someone's wallet and you want to transfer, the technology is designed such that you cannot transfer up to one whole TBC. It's not possible. You can't even transfer more than $1,000 because the system is all programmed and that program always runs. So if you are going to send more than that, you should call the attention of the commissioner. Now, whoever even tries to do such kind of thing, and at the end of it, he succeeds, you can always write to the commissioner. And then anytime you write to the commissioner will find who the person is. Remember, where our information are archived in the blockchain. The person's wallet address is there. The receiver and the sender is there. So all the commissioner needs to do is find out who this person is and block his account. It's even possible for the commissioner to withdraw the money that was sent and return it to the person who was defaulted. We have a centralized control system. Our system is not decentralized. In the era of Bitcoin, you can do such kind of thing and get away with it. In TBC, when we get to our economy phase, as we build into our membership of 1 billion, it will be impossible for someone to hack your TBC account. Even if he does it, you report him and every information is archived. There is nothing like escaping the system. It is all documented. Now, what does this imply? It implies that you can't use this system to fund wars. You can't use this system to fund prostitution. If you want to do anything like that, and those informations, of course, you know that the funds that are required to involve in such kind of thing are huge funds. So if you involve in such kind of thing and you are discovered, do you know what will happen? The system, the commissioner, the technology will shut you down such that you wouldn't be able to have access. You don't have two faces, it's just one face. And that face is peculiar to your account. Once you are turned off, you cannot have access to the TBC community. I want you to be aware of what is going to be the penalty if in any point you default. Because when we begin to enact these policies and we begin to bring down the hammer, it's not going to be funny because we're going to be very strict in implementing these things. So the conclusion of everything is, if you are in the TBC community and then you build, maybe you're doing your TBC food subsidy, you go there, you do your transactions. I still have this very clear understanding and opinion that we are using Kringles 50%, grains of gold 50%. We want to return the world to a balanced system, and gold has a stable value. So you will have money. It's like moving into a different country. You cannot use Naira. You can't use currencies that are not Naira in Nigeria. If you use United Kingdom currency, which is pounds, it won't agree. Or in the Philippines, you want to use pesos, it won't work. So you have to convert it to our own Nigerian currency. In our TBC community, our currency is grains of gold and Kringles, or TBC as the case may be. So you want to work with us because it's our territory, it's our system. You must align with our system. People will have to convert it towards grains of gold. Our grains of gold will be seen as the cash equivalent. Our Kringles will remain Kringles to do this, our transactions. Now, what I'm actually driving at is that our wallet will be properly secured. Our Kringle cash will be properly secured so that nobody will have access. We are going to continue upgrading the security so that it will be impossible for people to have access to our account. If you are careless and you give it out, well, there is every tendency that, yes, you can report the person. But if at any point you become careless and the person steals your Bitcoin bounty, well, it will be almost impossible. Why do I say so? Because for him to be able to have access to your Bitcoin wallet, Bitcoin Cash wallet, he has to reach out to the commissioner. And the commissioner will be intelligent to ask some questions. And then if you can't have access to those questions he's asking, give him feedback, positive feedback, then your account cannot be changed. So we have actually embedded a very tight security in the TBC community so that before these people will be able to sit down and organize themselves to hack into the TBC community, it will be impossible. You cannot do anything outside our terms and conditions. So TBC, people will soon realize the sophistication and organization and security that TBC has. And when they've understood this, and they also see that inflation is making the prices of things worthless, and then in the TBC community, the value of our currency is gaining more and more value, what do you think will happen to them? I think they'll prefer saving their money in Kringle coins, not Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is volatile. They will save their money in Kringle coins. They will save their money in grains of gold. And when people realize this, it will just take some time for people to realize this, because very soon the elite will want to clamp down on everyone. Everything will continue to lose value, and people will look for where to save their value. They wouldn't even be able to have access to gold. Very soon it will come. It may happen this year, but just put this in the back of your mind that there is every tendency that by 2022, we will likely get to 1 billion. And then with that, we'll begin to build our TBC community to take over the rest of the world and return humanity to how our creator originally wanted it to be. I believe I've been able to pass on some information. So do your part and do your part to build the TBC community the best way you can. Look at how fast our numbers are going. I must really say that those who are doing their part are building TBC, meaning that they are building the world for the better. I hope you don't miss out on this offer. I think I'll stop here. Thank you very much for those of us who have been listening. And I want to quickly just give a shout out to those that are live. And I want to first of all say thank you very much for being live in my broadcast. Madam Juliana, my wonderful sister, greetings and thank you for being live. Good morning, brother, and I wish you more anointing and well done. Keep it up. Thank you very much, my dear. I am really grateful. It's the grace of God that is helping me, and will keep helping me to achieve the goal, because we are going to get to the finish line together in love and in respect. And if there is no other contribution from any other person that is listening to me, I will call this meeting to an end. If you don't want to say any other thing, I'm fine, but do well to give a thumbs up. I'll be most grateful if you could help in doing that. So most likely I'll be coming live tomorrow. Cheers and God bless you. God bless you all. Bye.